And we are live, man. You guys, your followers here are a little impatient. We got people already telling me to start the stream. No, okay. So obviously, I'm here with the wonderful fellows at To Ramble, Austin and Richard. And I got to say, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for coming on here and talking to me. I've been a fan of your channel for a long time. I got a couple videos in particular I want to make sure that I bring up from you guys recently, but thank you guys for taking the time. I appreciate it a ton.
Rich, thank you for inviting us on.
We're so curious. And Rich, what do you think he's going to bring up? What's your guess?
I mean, by the channel name,
yeah,
maybe our Red Rising video.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on. And hello, chat. Hi, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm sorry I was 30 seconds late. Okay.
They're an impatient bunch.
Okay. First, I have to say this, right? This is indeed a motley crew. I was told by a certain someone to make sure that Austin, I let you know your first law takes are awful.
Oh, they don't like first law? They don't like Blade itself?
They don't like your opinion on it, apparently.
Oh, which one? It's so.
Don't worry, Joe Abercrombie. Let him know.
That was so that is one of the things that I wanted to. Yeah, separate cameras, rambling men. The recent videos you guys did with Abercrombie and Fonda Lee, those were awesome. I love that you guys are getting authors on there and like not just talking about their work and just having fun, but like also getting writing advice and like all that kind of stuff. It's so cool.
I was so happy with how those went too. I know, Rich. When did we film those after Dragonsteel?
I think we filmed that both of them the week after Dragonsteel.
Yes.
Did we film them on the same day too?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
if
so.
we had the same shirt, it was the same day.
I didn't even know because I usually like listen to it like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But you had people like Rockio on, Jenny Wirtz. How's that felt interviewing authors, having people on here?
It's so weird to me, dude. It's like you start recording yourself rambling about books and all of a sudden you can email an author that you look up to and they might say yes, like to come talk to you. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And they're all so nice.
The best part about being in a niche-ish hobby.
Yeah.
Like not only is reading just less popular than a bunch of other stuff, but you also have like just fantasy, sci-fi is even more niche.
Yeah, for sure.
So people just in the whole community are a little closer.
Yeah, and everyone's so nice. Look at that, Jenny Wirtz.
Jenny Wirtz. Hello.
Hello, Jenny.
I am 3 chapters now into Curse of the Mistwraith, and it is utterly unbelievable how much I love this book. It's crazy.
I keep hearing so Jenny Wirtz is on the list, the ever-growing, ever-longer TBR list.
That's how it goes.
But especially for prose and style.
Dude.
People keep recommending it's like, hey, you want some unique, like just fantastic prose. Yeah. You gotta check out Jenny Wirtz.
Oh man.
Now I want to see if you agree, Jake. But John and Jacob, they said the first book to read by her. Let me pull this up. I should have had this on the ready. Here we go. They said the first work to read should be To Ride Hell's Chasm.
Yeah, I think that's standalone. And you get obviously you get like the impact of what her prose is like. And
awesome.
But you get that self-contained story, right? Like the Wars of Light and Shadow is like 11 huge books. So that's a commitment. But To Ride Hell's Chasm was incredible. Yeah, Andrew was talking to me the other day about the Cycle of Fire trilogy. That is also supposed to be very, very good. But yeah, Hell's Chasm was one of my favorite books that I read all of last year.
Oh,
and then I also read her novella, The Gallant. It's like the prequel to the big series. That was just amazing.
What is the that series about?
You know what? I don't even know that much, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of it's called the Wars of Light and Shadow. So there's a war between light and shadow. No, but
nothing but on the nose takes from Jake here.
Exactly.
This is great.
We
very
don't come here for deep analysis, okay? No, but it's from what I've tried to not look too deep into it because I want to just like dive in and experience the whole thing. But I can already hear 3 chapters in or whatever, right? Like there's already multiple like worlds and realms that are at play. I don't know if it's Stormlight-esque with like how they sort of overlap or if they're very, very separate. I'm not entirely sure yet. But we have, that going on. There's multiple here in this first book, at least, that I believe kind of can function as a standalone. It's like an arc in the overarching big story that we have. We're starting off, basically, you have like these two, they're half brothers, but they're each, like a prince of these different nations because they grew up separately and they're sort of thrust together. And now, so far, it's like obviously very early on, but their personalities do not mesh very well. And we're gonna see how that plays out as they start discovering all the magic and what the curse of the mist wraith. What is a mist wraith? Like, there's just so much. There's a lot going on. But
yeah. From you, so it is not your shtick, but I guess did you come to BookTube mainly because you love books so much, just wanted to find other recommendations, make a community? What was your encouragement to do this? Because clearly you got the bookshelf for it, you got the lighting for it.
Yeah,
you have the microphone. Is that a Shure mic?
This trying to get a Yeti.
Yeti Blue. Even better. Wait, is that better, Rich? What in terms of quality? Where's that at?
In terms of price, no, but it's the quality of the mic is small potatoes. As long as it's as long as it's not like recorded straight from your phone, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
Riley Durfee does that still, and his video quality is still pretty damn good. So
yeah,
there you go.
He's the exception, not the rule.
Everybody must do this. Go look up that video Brian Lee Durfee did. I was crying laughing, actually in tears, because he showed his setup and how janky it is. Yeah. He has like the tripod. It's not even a tripod. It's like taped, and there's books that are 12 years old. It's just hilarious. But Jake, for you, what was your journey like to start up?
Yeah, it really was that for the most part, right? Like, I have some friends in real life that I can talk to about books a little bit. Like I got them into Stormlight, which was pretty cool.
Awesome.
And they jumped straight into the deep end, right? Like they weren't really readers much. And then they're like, okay, cool, Stormlight. But so they have that a little bit, but not as much as I would like, like most people. We just want more of a community to talk with. So that was a big thing. But honestly, even more than that was I wanted to make friends with the people that like I was watching their channels and stuff, right? Like I just wanted to get to know people and talk to them.
This ends here, by the way, just to let you know.
Say it again.
No, we'll be on the live, but no communication after this. Like we're not.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is business.
Okay. I mean, that's fair, right?
Exclusively.
Totally
this is all about the, transactional relationship. That's what BookTube is.
Exactly.
You give us $500, we come on your stream. That's the way it goes.
That's also why I wanted you guys, because you have more subscribers than me, right? So you come into my channel, I get some of your subs, I get the ad revenue, right? Like it's all by design, right? That's the only thing I care about at the end of the day, right? Is the ad revenue.
That is the thing I actually do genuinely love about BookTube is by its very nature, it's more authentic than a lot of other YouTube stuff. Because other people, if you're going into YouTube for the views and for the like all the clout, anything like, you're not going to pick books.
No.
I just
no.
And so just anyone who's here is there for a good time. Like I want to talk to people about books I read, because no one, like, that's a common story of just, hey, I don't have many book reading friends, so might as well go on to the YouTube. And Reddit is toxic, so maybe not do Reddit. Let's make some videos about it.
Reddit's tough. I tried to get in there a little bit and I just couldn't do it. Same thing with like Twitter or X, whatever we want to call it. Like I just forget it exists. So it's like there's so much different social media that are just haven't really panned out. But YouTube's been cool so far, right? So maybe we stick with that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I know we were missing some comments, Jake. Sorry that we're throwing you off here.
No, you're good. I'm just
we missed so many. I was reading some of them, but
a
lot of them were talking about them getting you over 2K. So congrats on almost hitting 2K. Let's try to hit it this live. How close are you right now? Are you at 19? Let's see.
I was 1996 or something like that earlier today.
Oh yeah, we're getting over that.
We're hitting that.
Once again, the only thing I care about is this.
Exactly. I did see a couple comments though in there asking, Austin, you're now day 1 at least into Demon in White.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. Okay. I wanted to get this update too.
No spoilers because some people in the chat might not be reading Sun Eater. So I'll say
Right.
I finished Queen Amid Ashes, the novella. I thought that was such a good time. And
Fantastic.
how do I say this? I'm 10 chapters or 11 chapters into Demon in White. So what can I say that's not spoilery? You know, I'm just feelings, I guess. Oh yeah. Good time. Yes.
Good
time?
time.
I mean,
Okay.
I am. This is definitely not a spoiler because you know from chapter 1 that he goes on to destroy a son. So we know Hadrian's like telling his tale. So I can say Hadrian still being alive in book 3. Hadrian is just becoming one of my favorites. I mean, after Howling Dark already is. I mean, I just like how Rockio muses at this point. I'll just tickle me with a paragraph. Just give me like I'm Adam Sandler. Give me a paragraph. Like I'm just loving that kind of stuff. So yes, I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah. Really, not to cut you off, but it says 2K now, so we can end the stream. Thank you guys for being here.
We did our job.
Awesome. We're done.
Okay, cool.
I see. My friend made me read. Apparently, is your 2,000 subscriber.
There we go.
You've accomplished everything you need to do.
That's it. We're good. We're good.
Jake, have you read Sun Eater yet?
I have. I've read everything except for
up.
Disquiet Gods. That's the only thing I haven't done. But that was one of the things I want to talk about because the Howling Dark review was the most fun I've had listening to a book review, maybe ever.
Ours?
Yes, that was unbelievable.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
It was
so fun.
I mean, hey, it's top tier book.
Man.
What a turnaround though. Like having trying for how long have we been trying to get you to read Howling Dark, Austin?
It was 8 or 9 months.
8 or 9 months. Oh god. Like I went on to the second book pretty quickly because of Coop in the comments here pushed me to continue reading. Like, yeah, give book 2 a shot. I'm like, all right, Coop. I liked it well enough. Like, might as well try. And I couldn't. It's hard to stop. So I'm so excited.
Thank you, Slay. I love you forever. You're the man.
Slay, that's so kind. Oh,
so nice. Very kind of you, Slay.
It's amazing. I'm so glad you finally got to it though. Like better late than never. It is very different from book 1, right? Like in some ways. In other ways, obviously, I think it's a very natural progression. But all the changes I think were very welcome. I think almost everybody would say they liked it a lot better.
Yeah, it was hilarious because in one of our comments on that video, someone was saying, yeah, wow, I've never seen a bigger step up from book 1 to book 2 in quality ever. And I commented like, yeah, it's insane how much it's like book 1 to book 2, the biggest jump I've ever seen. Rockio just comments going, yeah, I learned how to outline. So he was even saying like book 1, he didn't know how to outline quite yet.
Yeah.
So
he's a big outliner, right? Like he
definitely
goes in. Yeah.
Also, sorry, you pulled up someone's comment if you want to respond to that, or you're pulling up people's.
That's okay. Yeah.
Iskandaria. Hey, Iskandaria. It was great going on his live as well.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Philip is here. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it very much.
Hey, Philip.
Awesome. Yeah, dude. And I'll be very interested to see if you prefer it or Demon in White more. That seems to.
Do people alternate? I was pretty sure like almost everyone's like, yeah, Demon in White's better.
A lot of people do, but I've been hearing more and more people kind of start to. I've been hearing Ashes of Man a lot recently, also as people's favorite, which surprises me a little bit. But I guess I can see it.
I'm just happy that the series quality doesn't like just peak at Demon in White and then goes down the gutter.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of people just the quality just improves, or like it peaks and plateaus. Like it's all roughly equal quality after Demon in White.
It's also good. Have you guys read Berserk?
Have not.
Okay.
I know of it. I have not read it.
Okay. Yeah. That was as a massive Berserk fan, it was really fun reading as the series continued. Like there's a bunch of Easter eggs in there from Berserk. And it was really fun taking a lot. Rockio is such a nerd, man. I love it. Like he put a bunch of he put like Cowboy Bebop references in one of the novellas. Like it's great.
Which novella was that?
Dregs.
Oh, okay. I'll eventually get to that one then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the Queen of Mid-Ashes book, but
Oh,
I
it's
will
so
say
good.
I
Yeah.
think I'm glad to have read it after Demon in White. I think I don't the
I can
reason why
see
I
that.
like it after is I like the sudden change from book 1 to book 3.
Yeah,
Like, the
I can see
huge
that.
gap,
Yeah.
and the novella gives me that middle ground,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I want to see that immediately, so I like the
Yeah.
surprise jump.
That's so interesting because like I read it right after Howling Dark, I think. And it's
Mhm,
like I don't know what the experience is like the other way, right? So it's hard to say which one I think would be better. But for me, like it was kind of cool that then when some references came up, thank you, in the later books that were sort of explored in Queen of Mid Ashes, that I was like,
mhm.
oh, I know what that is, and like that was fun. But I could also see it being fun, not fully understanding everything during the main books, but then getting some of that background later.
Bless you.
Bless you,
Sorry.
I,
Jacob. Thank you, sir.
that is such a great sign of a series. You get that with several of the best series that people can't decide a unanimous what's the best book.
Yeah,
When
Mhm.
that's always a good side of a fandom and a series that has longevity, because if you can go, oh, that's the best one by far, it means that they're just not all to that quality. Because I don't think I've heard anything beyond I think there's 4 that are always tossed up there: Howling Dark, Demon in White, Ashes of Man, Kingdoms of Death. Like all 4 of those I hear are people's favorites. I
every, yeah.
every single time, yeah.
It
And
seems
I
like
have
everything
heard
except for Empire is
Yeah,
like
yes.
gets thrown
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
I have heard a couple people, but not many, say Disquiet Gods is their favorite,
I've been hearing that too. Yeah,
Yep.
but that's
this
not
is
as common.
this is probably a good point too. Just more people getting through more of the books, and it starts to spread that out a little bit.
Yes.
True.
Good point.
Good point, Coop. Good point.
No, I am really hoping that, I'm hoping that we're actually starting to see the rise of Rockio to the point where he will become one of our, like, our generation's great sci-fi writers, because he
Yeah.
totally deserves it.
Oh, 100%.
It is amazing how much this series is
Sorry, I
becoming my
read that
favorite
Tyler's
series
comment.
ever. Awesome,
You
we're gonna
got.
get you.
No, I wasn't laughing at you, Rich. I'm
There we
sorry.
go.
Oh,
I love it. Perfect.
No, good point, Rich. Yeah,
Uh,
and I think that's inevitable at this point. I mean,
I think so too.
he just need just time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He does want to write epic fantasy for sure.
I mean,
Which I
I'm
can't
there
wait for.
for it.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
did you guys read the Barrow King?
no.
No, I haven't.
It's awesome.
Well,
What is that one about broadly?
Um, Basic. This dude just goes in and kills a bunch of people. Basically, like it's
Great.
yeah, right. But the amount of like just tiny little lore drops that he sticks in there, like he could make a massive epic series just out of that short story. Just the little
Damn.
lore things that he dropped in there.
Hmm.
Very good.
I'll
I
have to
can't
check it
remember
out on
what.
his website.
Yeah, it's in some magazine. I can't remember, but he's posted it online also.
That's why I'm so looking forward to after Red God comes out with Pierce Brown series.
Mhm.
He's going to do a fantasy book next.
Yeah,
And he I think he says a standalone. I don't. He's not going to commit to another series quite yet. But seeing an author you only know for sci-fi do fantasy or vice versa, cool.
we-
Also, Pierce
no,
Brown is very sci fantasy as well. So I
yeah.
think it'll
Yeah.
work real easy.
It would work pretty
If
well.
we get this crossover to happen, right? The Jenny Wirtz Rockio crossover, that could be very cool.
Yes.
I mean, both are kind of known for their just beautiful prose. I'm
Yeah.
curious what kind of style. Ooh, it'd be fun with their unique styles to have a time war. Like, this is how you lose the time war kind of story.
I haven't read that, but that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, if you don't know about the book, it's 2 authors that they each wrote a chapter back and forth in sort of letter format. Like, 2
Okay, yeah.
characters are writing letters to each other back and forth, and it's 2
Read
authors.
it. This is a very divisive book, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually good, but I understand it if people don't like it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and I wouldn't really force that on anyone.
Yeah.
But if you want weird and you don't want to understand anything really going on, it's a good one.
Sounds nice.
It
sounds
was
nice.
the most divisive book in our book club by far. As you can see, Salty saying how trash it is.
Yeah.
So, it was. I've never seen people hate a book more. But I also know
Wow.
it's literally Daniel Green's second favorite book. It's
Is
in
it
his top
really?
5,
Wow.
yeah,
Mhm.
ever.
That's
So
amazing.
it also is top tier for some people. For
Yeah.
Rich and I, it's a great book. Yeah.
It's great.
Daniel seems pretty eclectic. Like he's very all over the place in a good way.
Yeah. I wonder too how much like he's been in the fantasy booktube space for this long now. He's seen a lot. He's writing
Yeah.
now too. He also I was even watching his Wind and Truth review, and really he's got, I mean, hot take, yeah, he's got his thoughts narrowed down. He knows how to do the YouTube stuff really
Yeah.
well. But even looking at that, then look at a review he used to do 4 years ago or back in the day. I'm just hoping like that happens with like Jake. It's going to happen with you, and Rich will happen with you and I too. We can like our reviews will get better over time. And
Yeah.
It's just cool to see how you get better at like knowing your taste. But yeah, Jenny's
on board.
down.
Okay.
There we
Jenny's
go.
down.
He said,
Okay.
"Hey
Okay.
Ryan, sup nerds?
Yeah, Jay, send
What's
us
up?
an email. We'll try and
Hook that up." Yeah.
hook that up.
Hook it up. That'd be great. But yeah, I mean, I would. That's kind of the hope, right? Is that everything you do, you get better at over time, and
Yeah.
that's also the, I think about when you first. And he said yes. Go tell Rocky. The running joke with me and a couple other guys is that Rocky is my BFF now since I had him on that live stream.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, but the
Did you go to his family's Christmas like we did, or
no,
like,
I did
no?
not.
Oh,
I did
you
not,
weren't invited.
unfortunately.
You weren't.
I'm not
You're
that
not
cool.
invited. To
It was
Thanksgiving?
only the Rockios
Dang.
and us, so that
Yeah,
makes sense.
as it should be. As it
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
The it's Daniel's channel has been so interesting too because he was the first booktube person I ever saw,
Yeah.
and this was like back in the day, like his OG Wheel of Time videos, and it's so interesting to see how much it's evolved over time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
cool.
no, I think the two first booktubers I saw, I think the first one was Mike's book reviews, and
Mhm.
then on to Daniel Green's.
Yeah,
When I was looking up videos on Wheel of Time,
nice.
that was kind of my introduction to booktube. And
speaking of Wheel of Time, it feels a little spoilery. We should probably stay away from that a little bit, but I just thought it was
Wipes
funny.
plural. What?
yeah,
What
we'll
does
hold
that
up.
mean?
Hey, spoiler talk. Get that out of there. Shame on you.
Ryan's comment when we'll
And
case-
also,
that's pretty funny.
there's one correct answer. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. So I have the obvious answer. I don't have the hot take. Sorry.
You know, my introduction in the booktube, it was one of these two. It was either literally Sanderson or Murphy Napier. I can't remember which one though.
Sanderson is your first booktuber is wild.
No, because I was curious about like I hadn't read Way of Kings yet. I hadn't had that reading spark happen where Rich and I, when we moved in together, and this was like 2021-ish. Yeah, 2021 when this happened. So this was before that. This was during COVID. I really wanted to write a book, still writing, but I was writing and then looking up writing advice, and Sanderson's lecture series came up. And from that lecture series, I then found Murphy Napier's Dear Authors type stuff. I was like, oh, that's
those are great.
And then that was my introduction.
Yeah. Murphy's awesome. That's like a bucket list. If I can get around one of these streams, that'd be cool.
Yes, definitely.
Fun.
Who else is on your bucket list of people?
Oh, bro, I have a bunch of people on here. I got like a massive. It's a lot of authors that I would love to talk to.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of them are just so big. Like, it's not that they're like too high and mighty to email you back, right? It's just they're just so busy and stuff gets lost in the shuffle and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be tricky. A lot of other booktubers that would be really fun. I've gotten to talk to a bunch of people already, but certainly a large hand. I don't want to like list off names right now because I'll inevitably leave somebody out and feel like a ass. But here we go. Anyway.
Yeah, the more you. Also, that's this happened recently. The Golden Globes, Oscar's going to happen in March, but I think sometimes we can be like, oh, look at that Oscar speech, like how pretentious. It is hard in 1 minute to say all the things you want to say in 1 minute when going, and also all the eyeballs on you. So I was thinking that mainly because I'm going through the Oscar movies, and it's Rich. We're doing it right. We gotta come on.
You got to.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
We're doing what? I got to catch up though with the Oscar movies.
You do.
Like how many am I behind? Like by
4.
3? 4.
3 or
Damn
4.
it.
Yes.
God, that's
You're going to
probably
be
seen
behind again
0.
because you're going away this weekend. But
damn it. So I'm gonna have to watch a movie every night. That's gonna cut into my reading time. You know that.
Jake, where's your
Tough.
non-reading media time go? TVs,
Oh.
movies, mangas.
What
Video
time
games.
is the
Oh, manga.
question?
Yeah.
So I am a failure of a gamer. I really want to, but I just can't make the time. I
Same.
barely watch TV. It's like I can read for like an hour and a half on per day on average. But other than that, I've there's a little too much going on. I had the brilliant idea of trying to start BookTube and read while in a PhD program and working full time and with a girlfriend. So
That last part will get you.
it's a little yeah. It's only the last part. So yes, sleep is not what it probably should be, and other fun hobbies probably not as much as I would like. But what are you gonna do?
Mhm. Yeah, Rich and
Yeah.
I found that we do a lot less TV now. Way less TV.
Yeah,
I haven't watched a TV show in a long time. Like, Rich, what was the last for you?
Watching the first 3 episodes of Arcane season 2.
That's
And
right, yeah.
good show so far. And I still keep like the choice between watch the next episode or read a book. I keep
Yeah.
picking up the book instead. And I don't know. It is really hard now to just convince myself to finish a TV show.
it's tough, man. Arcane's definitely one that I'd love to see, but it'd be tough. I think the most recent thing I watched was The Boys, which was
Yeah,
like months
we
ago.
how many like the
Hey, Vera.
latest season? There's 4
Yeah, the most
now?
recent one. Yeah, I got caught up on it, but
Got it.
oh, look who's here.
Hey, Vera.
I keep clicking on the wrong comment because it's me moving.
And Tom has a BookTube channel as well. What's up, Tom?
we got it again. Let's go.
Again?
Good.
Vera, did you know someone said that earlier?
Hey, your
definitely didn't know
Abercrombie,
that.
your Abercrombie takes is
It's correct.
it's hurting you more than quite
Uh-huh.
literally any of your other opinions.
Mm-mm.
And you have
No,
some just bad opinions.
I'm taking the Matt's fantasy book review approach of his Wind and Truth review. Just say the truth. Say what people don't want to say. That's it.
He has been the most negative review I've been able to find of anyone who actually finished the book. Like a lot of
we
people
haven't done
DNF'd
our
it.
review yet.
I'm very much looking forward to your review.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually filming that review tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes.
That is exciting.
So, oof.
What's your turnaround time usually on getting them posted?
2 to 3 weeks, usually 3.
3 weeks. Okay. I was like, am I getting too behind the curtain? Sorry.
No. We're trying to work that on, but
It
we'll
is.
figure it out.
It's good to be ahead of schedule, right? Like the last minute frantically posting something is not where it's at.
Yeah. We also generally like to be nice to our editor. We don't want to like, hey, 24-hour turnaround. We don't
Yeah.
hey, take a week.
Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
yeah. But no, we need to work. We're gonna try and work some stuff out to get things a little bit faster
You
than
guys
that.
do you, man. You guys do you. That's cool. Because I know Austin, was that you that posted on your Instagram page about like you have some thoughts. So I'm excited
I have
to hear.
some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts.
I am interested.
Yeah.
I will be honest.
The thoughts are growing.
Thoughts are
Every
growing.
day after finishing it.
Yeah.
The opinions grow stronger.
They do. Rich, this is gonna be a fun one. Should we give a little sneak peek of what we're doing after the spoiler-free to spoiler-full section?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Let's go.
Anybody-
NLR exclusive. Here we go.
Yes, just don't tell other people, please, because it'll
Yeah.
be fun. It would be fun for other people to see. But Rich and I had a bet. I hope people don't know what the bet is about a certain character.
Oh, well, let's not give the results. Let's just say what the bet is.
Yes,
But we
we'll say what
won't
the
tell
bet is.
anybody
Okay.
who won or lost.
That's good. Yeah, we have a bet about a certain character living or dying. I want to keep this very light because in case people aren't caught up with book 4, a certain character living or dying, and the loser of that bet means after the spoiler-free section of our first 15 minutes, in the spoiler section, they have to wear either I will have to wear the Syl costume or Rich will have to wear a Shallan costume. So depending on what happens to that certain character, and those who have read the book and knows what happens to that character, you can infer what will happen in the review. So I think that was broad enough, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Well, that's exciting. That's awesome.
Basically, one of us is going in drag for the Wind and Truth review, and that'll be one of our larger videos. And so,
as it should be.
yeah, that's the punishment.
Mhm.
I feel like I've seen the Syl cosplay a little bit, so I'm fingers crossed hoping for the Shallan. I think that
Yes.
would be the most entertaining. But come on.
But yeah, well, have you read Wind and Truth yourself?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are your overall thoughts?
I'm very positive overall, although I understand a lot of the critiques. And I will be the first to say the prose was rough. In some spots was just straight up really rough. Other spots, I think, that's just kind of what he is as a writer. But that's the main downfall to me was the prose itself and just some of the words that were used. And in some cases, there were just way too many words used. But in terms of like the character arcs, the plot points that happen, that kind of stuff, I overall was quite happy.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite Stormlight book.
That's fair.
For some of the same reasons that you talked about, a lot of the word choice, and I think pretty across the board, even ranging from the people who really, really hated the book to people who still really liked the book. A common complaint overall is just the writing is not up to par.
Yeah.
And normally Sanderson is not known for his, eloquent prose. He's known for very simple prose, and I think the bar was pretty low for him from the start, and it was missed. And that's why it hurts all the more.
It does.
Like if a Rockio book is maybe just not as well written a little bit, he's already raised the bar so high. If he like falls underneath it a bit, it's like it's disappointing, but it's not unacceptable. Sure. When Sanderson doesn't make his bar, it's kind of like, oh,
yeah,
it hurts more.
This is not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form, right? But there was one moment where it was like so and so let so and so do their thing. That's literally what it said, and I was just like, that's the best thing that you could come up with for that sentence. I'm like, oh,
yeah, there's a line that, again, not spoils anyway, is Syl, oh, that's just Syl doing Syl things. I'm like,
sure.
My God, it sounds like Gen Z lingo, and oh God, that should not belong in fantasy books. Like it's so off.
It hurts me, right? Because I'm a very big Sanderson fan, right? Like, I'll be very honest. I was biased going in, right? And I'm still a big fan. And I think the more well-read I become, the more I find myself seeking out the Rockio and the Janny Wirtz and where the prose is very much like part of the experience, right? Where Sanderson's like the prose is just out of the way, so you experience the plot and the characters. And I'm like, I just feel like it would enhance a lot of stuff if the prose was just just a little bit. It doesn't have to be amazing, right? But just this, do one more proofread maybe. And I know a lot of people talked about the change in editor and that kind of. I don't know if there's a channel called World Hoppers that they had a cool video where Sanderson actually responded to some of the criticism about the prose.
Yeah,
that was a really interesting watch. But
overall, Sanderson has that. He has that social media, or he's media trained, and so his response, I think, came off really well. He gave a good response. He didn't, fly off the handles like I've seen a couple of different authors do, like
Terry Goodkind.
Terry Goodkind, or for a while ago, like I think it was at least a year ago, George R. R. Martin kind of went off the handles on his blog, talked like,
oh yeah,
stop bringing up the book. I'm getting to it. And just he kind of was going off the handles like, everyone's just annoying me. Like, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Tim, that's been waiting for 13 years. So it's not unreasonable for people to like keep asking.
Andrew, we are no spoilers, but I know you're I'm sure he's got similar thoughts to bring up as you
Andrew,
guys.
could you put a rating in the chat? Maybe just get your overall feelings. I'm very
Oh,
curious.
here we go. Here we go.
If anybody's read the book, I'm very curious to
Mm.
see. Benji says Rothfuss would never. That's your George R. R. Martin comments. Good old Benji with the
Yeah.
optimism there.
There's a
I
lot
do
of-
think of all the authors out there that like we want to have or like may have on in the future that we like or at least hope to. I think the two people that I really don't expect to have on the channel would be George R. R. Martin and Patrick Ruffus. I see a very slim chance of Patrick Ruffus ever coming on the
Seems
channel.
reasonable.
I would welcome it, but I doubt it.
3. Yeah.
3.
A lot of people say 3, 3.5, something like that.
Yep, makes sense. Makes sense.
Bell
I mean, I think
tube,
that's reasonable.
A generous 3.
Yeah. Tom says 4.
Okay.
But it's like I think anyone who's giving it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 is just not being objective. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not a masterpiece and it's not horrible. I think it's somewhere it's got to be in the middle ground, right? Just because of the obvious flaws, but also some of the obvious just awesome stuff that he still pulled off. I don't know. My 2 cents anyway.
Yeah,
I
well,
totally understand that.
we'll keep our opinions
There we
close
go.
to the chest until the video comes out. But
Chance has it
hey,
right.
there we
Haven't
go.
read
We
it.
got a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out
There
of
we go.
5 before reading. Chance, I like that.
Yeah.
Stick to your guns. Never change. Never change anyone else's opinions. That's your goal in life.
Exactly.
Jake, maybe this isn't the stuff that keeps you awake at night, but what do you think about you give a book review? What do you think about ratings in general? Because people have such different systems. Like Rich and I have an internal system that works for us.
Mhm.
I know some people's 5s mean something else to you. How much have you thought through when you rate things, and how much have you thought through when you post a review, if you actually want to even say a score, or the whole what's Chris Stuckman effect thing? You know Chris Stuckman on the movie side who doesn't give ratings.
I don't,
anymore.
but yeah.
But anyways, yeah. What do you have you contemplated all that, thought through it a bunch?
A bit, yeah. And I think my get out of jail free card is just being very qualitative and not really giving a rating.
Yeah.
That my approach has generally been like just kind of share my thoughts a little bit, but not because like you're saying, it's so subjective and it's like everybody the same number is going to mean something different to different people.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. And like I personally like when I'm reading, I don't know. It's while I'll enjoy pretty much anything while I'm reading it. I'm just kind of along for the ride. And then afterwards is when I can actually sit there and like think through what I just experienced.
Mhm.
And even at that point, I'm like, I can kind of talk myself into going multiple directions, right? Like I rarely have like a very strong stance on like, it's exactly a 4 or it's exactly a 3.75 or what, it's tricky for me, right? So I think maybe that's just me being a little bit lazy. Ultimately, that's probably what it is, right? I just want the easy way out where I'm not offending anybody. Safe. Here we go.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love offending
go.
people. That's our favorite thing.
Yeah, you guys' system
Nothing
is
is
awesome. I
worse.
like it.
Nothing is worse than a neutral score.
That's
I
true.
hate it. I hate to do it.
Like-
That's the worst score I could ever give.
Yeah.
It does help you in those cases because let's say we did the Abercrombie last Argument of Kings review. If I just said, I was kind of disappointed by it, but didn't say the word 2.5 stars, probably less reaction because like 2.5 versus like you throwing out cons of what you didn't like is different than because the number is just a visual representation of how you feel about the book because I like these books better, so it's higher on mine than this one is. Or so if you stay qualitative, it's easier to just not be like I'm giving an objective, it's this number. But of course, Rich and I have to give an objective, it's this number because that's the fun.
Sure.
That's what gets me going.
Oh, I get that.
To your point.
I saw a comment scrolling by of like how much do you factor in the author's feelings, and to that answer, zilch.
For that answer, check out our Name of the Wind review. Essentially, us saying Quoth is probably Patrick Ruffus, and he has bad morals.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, that actually is something
Not exactly,
we now factor into. Is generally, I don't think it's good manners to go after the author themselves
Yeah.
If you don't like the work, if you don't like the book, you just don't like the book. Very rarely would I ever want to like critique the authors personally
Sure.
for a bad work. Like, and somewhat to this point is I've read now so many different series where the first book was just not good, and yet later on I love the rest of their books.
Sure.
It's not fair for me to just like completely write off an author after one bad book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also,
I
it's
like
just
that.
I don't know. It seems like a way to burn bridges and just there's no reason to be that mean, except to Austin.
Yeah.
Austin, I'm allowed to be that mean too.
That's fair.
That's why he's here.
No.
Just to clarify, I see some comments that are like, you know, don't be afraid of offending people. Just to be clear, like I'm not afraid of that, right? It's just like it's just I'm more so joking than anything else. But
Yeah, no. It's not even offending. It's just like it's someone's creative work. Very like what reason is there to go after them personally unless like they tie themselves to it personally? Like if they don't take it personal, then I don't need to. It's a
yeah, I
book.
mean, I think I that sort of got trained out of me early on. Like I said, I'm in grad school, right? So like a big part of what I do is like talk about like research studies in my field, right? Or write about them or whatever.
Mhm.
Right.
And like so much of that is you have to be able to critically critique something without just resorting to like, well, you're a bad person, so you did, you know, like it's got to be about the work itself and the person who did it. It really doesn't matter, which
Mhm.
is sort of annoying sometimes because there are some people in the field who you know don't do good work because we know that they are lazy or they just straight up make up data and things like that. But you still, you know, when you talk about their work, it has to be about the work itself. You just can't do that.
Because sometimes a broken clock is right, twice a day.
There you go.
Just because they suck at one job doesn't mean they are immediately wrong in another.
Yeah,
kinda
or
s-
you know,
Yeah, that kind of slips into the whole question about separating the art versus the artist. And
yeah,
what if
it's a
they're
tough one.
what if they're actually a bad person? Like, not just like, oh, I don't like them, but do bad things in that whole question, which we did like a couple
Tough.
videos on that. We should do another. I always love
Yeah,
talking
let's just
about
keep
that.
doing it over and
Just
over again.
every
I'm
year we
sure
update
everyone
the
loves
opinion.
that one.
Yeah, those were I definitely watched those. I thought those were great.
Yeah,
Every time there's
they're
a
a lot of fun.
controversial thing, we just do it.
There's a lot of fun for us to talk about because
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely true where like we came down to it is basically you should try to separate the art from the artist, but ultimately it's not it's not it's not that vital of a hobby that you particularly have to. Like if you don't want to.
Hmm.
Like there's plenty like then now there's a handful of authors for me where just because I generally won't give their stuff another shot of just because of personal connection. So like the thing right off the top of my head is Terry Goodkind. His comments about Robert Jordan and just how he treated some of his artists,
Sure.
his behavior. I don't want to read his books. I don't feel like I have to either. It's not I'm not like it doesn't seem like his books, like even from people who like his stuff, he's not a masterwork. It's not your,
Hmm.
Tolkien. It's not your 1984s. Like it's not vital for me to read it.
Yeah.
So I can afford to just skip it because I don't like the author.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I am, and just like if you want to and feel you're able to separate the art from the artist, then sweet. If you are not, then sweet, right? Like it doesn't matter to me. You do whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Jake,
I
can you
don't-
not say that because that prevents us from doing hour-long pods about that very question? And if you answer
That's
like
true.
that, we can't do the video. So we
Sorry.
gotta.
Oh
slow
yeah.
down.
You want in on a little secret is anytime we have a topic video where we ask a question in the thumbnail or title, the answer always is it depends.
Yeah.
That's the answer to every
Hey,
single one of them.
welcome to my world, man. That's like in the science.
Always.
Like I work in the fitness industry and like all the research stuff in that world, like literally everything is it depends. And people get annoyed,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's what the
It
world
is annoying. It
Yeah.
ultimately that's the correct answer.
Yeah. You need
But
to follow
then
it
it's
up
more
though.
fun to
right?
I'm gonna follow up and give my answer.
Yeah.
The true answer is it does depend,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say my answer and like yes or no because that's
Mhm.
it's more fun to actually stand behind something, even if you know you may be wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
the more unreasonable, 10 toes down. All right, stand on it.
Oh, great. No,
The way to be.
I love it when people have strong opinions on things. It's just something I respect, and they fight.
I do
for it.
too. I do too.
Like,
Like I find myself
nothing hurts me more than someone like being on the fence about something. That hurts me. It hurts me when I see them going like, "Oh, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't." Like, I'm going, "No, say what you think.
Yeah.
Stand behind something. Like, just even if you think you're wrong, just do it anyway." Bothers me.
I admire that very much. I think I'm closer to that like kind of middle ground thing than it sounds like you are. Like I'm happy to say my opinion. So, okay. We're going to get personal for a second.
Oh,
Okay.
My girlfriend and I have gotten into
not
numerous
that
fights.
personal. Okay.
Sorry. That's after the call.
Okay.
So my girlfriend and I have gotten into numerous fights because like she'll have this political opinion and she'll ask what I think, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, what did they say? Like, it's like I just don't pay attention to politics first and foremost. But like there's just stuff like that where I very much do not have that defined opinion, and I can totally get why people get frustrated by that. But it is also kind of funny for me to like stand right there and just kind of watch it burn down on the side, and I'm protected Switzerland neutral in the middle. It's kind of fun.
Kind of a somewhat stoic approach to things of, don't let things emotionally affect you. Go through life, and like I will, if it affects, then I will do something. But until then, that's not Stoicism 101. That was very dumbed down, but you get your point.
Which is also a very privileged opinion to have, right? So like I get that that's, but anyway.
But here's the thing, I also do respect the idea of people that are not informed about something and therefore remove themselves from the discussion.
Yes.
That's a very valid and often like
thank you.
We need more of those people.
Thank you.
It just I like, at least because right, democracy is cringe for that being one of the many reasons of people thinking their opinion matters, and it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't matter as much as people. Other people have read things and at least know the names of their politicians rather than you just, I don't know, like, especially for local elections. Like, I have like an issue that I look up, like I have small thing. I'm like, this is the thing I care deeply about. I'm going to look which politician puts this in their list of opinions.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, I don't give them my vote. If they do, guess what? That's what they're getting. They're getting my vote. I don't care what else they have on there.
Easy enough.
His opinion is, do they have 3
have
conventions in the area? That's like what Rich looks for on the ballot box. If they do, he's like that.
If both of them, if none of them have that listed in their list of opinions, then I guess I don't vote that time. Oh well.
No, I get that. I get that. Yeah, I want the free ice cream. That sounds kind of fun. Yeah, man, it's like the everyone gets an opinion thing is like, I've always been like, everyone has the right to an informed opinion, not necessarily just an opinion, but like the informed part is so tough. I'm like I overthink everything, right? So for me, someone will be like, for example, there was the whole, are they going to forgive student loans thing, right?
Sure.
And I'm like, on the surface, that sounds great. I would love to not pay all this money back. But then I'm also like, well, I don't understand the economic ramifications of if that were to happen. Like, I just don't get it. So maybe I would actually prefer them not to do it if I knew more, right? So I'm just like, I can't, and I don't have the time nor the energy to learn about a million different things.
That's where specialization comes in. Why we're booktubers is listen to booktuber opinion. Listen,
oh yeah,
you got the books behind show authority. See, Rich, you got them. I don't.
Yeah. Well, no, we talked. Austin and I talked about that for a while of when we were thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Of like, we're both interested in a bunch of other stuff. Like, we talk about religion and politics all the time together, but we decide on doing books, and ultimately we're far more informed about books than literally anything else.
Yeah.
And so, like, no one. I may have my opinions, but no one should listen to me with any degree of authority on anything else.
Yeah.
other than books. I have some, and the only reason is like I've read a bunch of books. I can say what I think, and it gives me some credence.
Sure.
Doesn't give me a bunch, but it's something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's
Jake, your thing is you got books. You're in the fitness industry, so those are the things you
Yeah.
feel like you know the most about. And again, in the
Yeah.
fitness industry, you're saying it's a lot of it depends. But are you a PT or where are you at in the fitness industry?
basically
Yeah.
it's essentially the same as personal training. I just do it all online because I'm a
Oh,
princess and
cool.
I don't want to have a set schedule at a certain time.
Nice.
But yeah. But yeah, it's all it depends, but like you have to follow that up with like, well, here's what it depends on. And based on your situation, I might recommend this. But like there's just being clear, there's not a black and white answer, but like still giving them something that's kind of helpful, which I think can extend to the book review stuff also, right? Like so much of it being subjective, there's not going to be a like this is or is not a good book, period, most of the time. But like you can say it depends on whatever, but I think it's nice to discuss, what sort of person might like it versus might not or whatever.
Oh God, I didn't go to the gym today either.
The gym's
Missed
overrated,
out,
bro.
dude. And
Overrated? Can you say that legally? Isn't that your job?
hey,
It's fun to
actually,
joke about.
I did see a comment all the way back up, somewhere deep into there, asking like, Austin, what is your gym schedule?
My gym
Like-
schedule.
Like what are your like weekly gym
And
schedule?
maybe run this by you too, Jake. Because you're in the fitness industry and everything. So
There we go.
right
Here-
now, because my arm is, I have to probably get surgery on my arm. So
Oh, geez, that sucks.
it's for this past week, nothing. But before that, 5 to 6 days a week with a push-pull legs routine and cardio. And it kind of waxes and wanes. Sometimes I'll do an upper lower split just to change things up. Sometimes I'll
Okay.
do like the bro split just to also
Sure.
switch things up.
Sure.
When I get back and healthy again, Nicole got me in this new gym, which is just big and huge and has machines I've never used before. So I'm going to switch it up again and then do a push pull legs, but on the leg days, have like half weightlifting, then half do like 5K or 10K, something like that. So
Oh, wow, good for you.
switching in that. And then my goal this year is to get a sub 5 minute mile or do a marathon, depending on how my back is. So I'm not going to do the marathon if my back's hurting, but I'm going to try to do.
You're
like
falling apart, man.
Yeah, I know. It's the back. It's
It's
the
that hard
arm.
YouTuber life.
It's
His
Rich
body is
abuses me.
surprisingly like a glass cannon. Though, if Salty is still in the channel, you can also blame him because he broke your arm.
No, it wasn't Salty.
Oh, it wasn't
Jackson.
Salty? Oh,
Yeah.
it was okay. It was Jackson.
That manly man.
Oh God. Yeah, no, where there's a video of them like doing an arm wrestling and you just hear a pop.
Oh, nice.
And it was,
Do you know what
That's
happened?
his arm.
Arm wrestling is
it's-
surprisingly dangerous.
so Nicole thinks it's, and again, I didn't get any imaging yet, so it's just based on I have to still get the appointment,
Yeah.
but she knows what she's talking about. But it's probably an ulnar nerve subluxation, most likely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so they'll have to attach that to the muscle, and because it's popped out of the cubital tunnel. That's what
Sure.
everything she's telling me. She's the doctor, so I just listen to her.
I'm certainly not a doctor either, but I've heard of that kind of thing happening for sure.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, man. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. But
Do you have any injuries that have prevented you, or like any big?
oh yeah, I mean,
pains? I'm just my posture now, just from being aware.
yeah.
Here we go.
So I had, that was at the end of 2019. I had basically like almost herniated a disc in my back. That the way the doctor described it to me was that in order to prevent disc damage, basically all the muscles just seized up around my spine and wouldn't let go.
Ooh.
So I was like, I couldn't stand up straight. It took me like 2 months to be able to stand up straight, and like just taking a bunch of muscle relaxers and all that kind of stuff. It was annoying. But the worst thing was I had a hernia that I had to get surgery for and all that kind of stuff. That was 2 years ago now.
How long did recovery take?
Almost 2 years. Oh, dude. I don't think I didn't train my legs for like almost 6 months. You can do some arm stuff here and there, right? right? Like that's not a big deal. But like you would be shocked how much you use your abs to stabilize yourself, even doing like the most mundane. Like you think curls would be fine, but like your core tightens when you go to do curls, right? It's just every little thing gets you. But
It's interesting seeing people on like the bench press, and you could tell the people who have not worked out their core. And when they're going to bench and their back just bows up trying to lift the weight,
everything's unstable.
It's surprising how much working out your core will actually improve your bench.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I'm just surprised about it.
Yeah, it's the core of your body, right?
Yeah,
play all the time.
Right.
But I will say it's seeing you try and do a plank is just insane to me of how long it takes you to do planks, because you can go like, what's your longest plank now? Because it looks like you just like are sitting there for like 15 minutes just planking for. It's like at that point, why bother?
I've never
like,
gone
are you
for a
even
record,
exercising it?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I've never gone for a record, but sometimes long, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like
You
2 minutes, and that's like rough.
Pain, right?
It's tough to. I honestly I hate doing any kind of core stuff. I just don't enjoy it. But you know, it is what it's important. I just don't like it.
I'm trying to get more into cardio just for Nicole's a big runner, but also heart health, cardiovascular. I know it's longevity.
Boo.
Start to look at that future.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I'm kind of the same now. I actually competed in bodybuilding a few months ago. It was awesome. But I did a bunch of cardio for that, right? So now I'm like, I need to try to keep that in here because I actually like am in relatively good cardiovascular shape. So I should, you know, that's good for health. So
hell yeah. Our friend group was going to do a Mount Kilimanjaro trip, Rich. And Rich, right now, you think you could do it? Current shape?
Current shape?
I think you can, definitely.
Maybe. I mean, that's so okay. I don't have running speed. I just don't run often enough to really be trained for it, but I have hiked a lot. And I'm more used to than others, I guess, with dealing with higher altitudes. So I think I could do it. But it would be definitely hard. Like Mount Kilimanjaro gets up to, I think, like what, 14,000 feet above sea level?
You check.
It's rough. Like that's the thing that'd kill you. It's not the distance. It's not the
20,000 almost feet.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, you get to like 13, 14, you're gonna be crying every step afterward.
Yeah, altitude's no joke, man.
Oh god, yeah. That nearly killed me in Hawaii. Like trying to do I did Mount what is it? Mauna Loa, the volcano on the Big Isle. That was the second day of hiking was just over 12 hours straight of hiking because by the end like the elevation was killing me. That's terrible.
That's crazy. I've done a little bit of hiking in where was I? In Denver, and then again in North Carolina, like in Raleigh, Asheville, places like that. And that was like, even that elevation, I was like, okay, this is not my forte. It's fun. Like hiking is great. The nature was great, etc. But like, whew.
Well, I know we're talking about all these other different hobbies, but to bring it back to booktube and things, wanted to ask you what's on your current what's on this month's TBR for you, Jake?
Ooh, well, I just wrapped up some One Piece. I've been slowly going through some One Piece lately.
You're following like just all the other booktubers.
Oh, that's all I do is just copy people. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a single original idea.
Okay, good. You're playing the game well then.
Exactly. How do you think I hit 2K already, boys? I mean, we just copy the bigger channel.
What are you at right now? Did you even go above 2,000?
Oh, I don't know.
I want to see it. Let's see.
But yeah, so I finished some One Piece, and right now I'm reading Curse of the Mistwraith from the lovely Janie Wirtz. And then I gotta read. Actually, I have it down here somewhere. I can find it. My shelf is weird. Aha.
Yeah, Coop. Goblin Emperor is not on this month's TBR. Sorry.
Nice cover.
We can see this. Eluthian. by Sam
Wow.
Middleton. Reading this with a couple BookTube friends. Chance and Alex are both in the chat. And then Chris from the Bearded Book Beast as well. We're all reading that together.
Oh, neat.
So that's fun. And then I think I want to get into The Book That Wouldn't Burn from Mark Lawrence. So I hear amazing things about him in general, and also just that trilogy. And book 3 comes out in like April. So
which series are you going to start? Which book are you going to start with?
The Library Trilogy. Book That Wouldn't Burn is the first one.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend the Book of the Ancestors series instead.
Okay.
Humble recommendation.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think it's just better work.
Okay. That's definitely on my list. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll jump into that first then. Because I don't think I wouldn't be caught up in time to read book 3 when it releases anyway. So might as well take a little bit more time.
Do you have a reading goal this year for a number of books, or you just go with the flow?
So I don't really have like a specific number that I'm aiming for per se, but like based on how much I tend to be able to read, and like I roughly know how long it'll take me to finish books, so on and so forth, that it's probably going to be somewhere in that like 40-ish range, something like that.
Okay.
I think I read like 45 or 46 last year, so it'll probably be similar. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, people are shouting out the 2K. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, we're trying to do our minimum is trying to do at least one book a week.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, awesome. Austin, want to share our TBR for the month of January?
Yes. We have Demon and Oh yeah. Oh, hey Tori.
Hey Tori.
We have Demon and White, and then we have Blood Over Brighthaven for the book club.
Ooh, I want to read that too.
That same week, we'll also be doing Discovery, which is John and Jacob's. And Jay, what's their initials on it? J.A.J. Mitten is their official author name, because it's them and Jacob's mom as well. Yep. And then we will be doing the second book in Akotar, because Valentine's Day is coming up and we need to get our spice levels going.
There you go.
And then we're going back to Sun Eater book 4. Is that Kingdoms, or which one is book 4?
Kingdom of Death. Yeah. My guess is the week after that one we'll also do the follow-up, which is Ashes of Man, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we'll try and read those 2 books back to back.
That's a good way to go.
If we can.
For talking story's sake, should we do the Akotar book then their book, just so we're going instead of reading Demon and White then their book?
That would be good.
What are you saying? You don't think it'll stack up?
I just want to give.
No offense to John and Jacob, and I think they'll understand as well. I have confidence in their material. I don't know if I have confidence that they're going to surpass Rockio right out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, guys. Actually, yeah, no, quite literally, no one should be put to that standard. That's not fair to anyone.
Jacob would appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm very excited to read it. I'm told I should be able to get my hands on it relatively soon as well. So
awesome.
I'll as soon as I get it, I want to read it. Andrew was like one of his 5 favorite books of last year.
That's so cool to hear. Jenny Works gave great words too. They have
Jenny said it was great.
I don't think it's out yet, but the trailer looks sick as well. And Jacob put a lot of effort into just the visuals. And they even have like a little rebranding that all their pictures are on Instagram. It's like
the picture looks good.
It's so cool. It's the best.
It's adorable.
Dude,
it really is just so wholesome.
I commented on one of their videos the other day, or maybe it was the last live they did.
Yeah.
That I was like I'm 31, right? Like I don't plan on having kids. My whole life I've been like, I don't want kids, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this might sound weird, but seeing how you guys are doing this thing together and how awesome your family looks, I'm like, it kind of makes me want to have a kid someday. Because like,
right?
How cool is that they're all doing it together, and like, it's not a weird, oh, my parents want me to do this with them and I'm doing it to like appease so they don't think I don't like they're all just stoked about it to do it together. It's so cool.
Plus the book is literally Jacob had a project for school and that the professor hated it. Went, this is awful. And he said, you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. And
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Nice vengeance story of him getting
it's
together
great.
with his
good.
Every great every great endeavor starts out of spite.
Facts.
Ever. Yes. There's no
Every single
exceptions to
one.
that rule.
There are no exceptions to that rule. Everyone great is there because someone told them they couldn't do it, and so they said, just to prove you wrong, I am going to do it.
That's amazing. People are excited about Malazan here too. I've been talking to Chance. How much Malazan have you guys done? You read at least the first book, right?
I read the first two.
I read the first one.
Oh, that's right, because you were really liking the end of Dead House Gates.
Well, I like the second book altogether.
Yeah.
Just an improvement overall in every one of our categories. I think the writing was better. The character work was a lot better, where the plot was actually coherent and connected to the world. Just everything all together. It still had that crazy Malazan stuff that from book one of throwing a bunch of stuff at you.
Mm-hmm.
But it got me emotionally this time.
Yes.
Where I was actually caring for the characters. Like I was deeply connected to one of the characters that was just going on a downward spiral. And I loved reading that plot line. So
yes. I'm very excited to see you guys continue. I assume you're going to continue going through the series. I hope.
I've encouraged Austin to read it, but it'll be after Sun Eater. And probably after something else.
That's totally fair. Malazan is one of my favorite things of all time. So I would love to hear fun discussions, but that's okay.
Awesome. What do you think is our next kind of big series to tackle after Sun Eater? Because that's the one we're just kind of going full force on.
I shouldn't say Discworld because it's tough to get literally 42 books done in a year. So that's just got to be sparsed out. But I do want to go back to some Discworld books. However, you're right. I mean, we got the end of Red Rising coming up, the end of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Stormlight's the thing is, those are the ends. We're just one book.
Yeah.
What's the big series kind of we want to tackle? And try and do like we're doing with Sun Eater, try and read at least one book a month.
Yeah, maybe there's Robin Hobb. We're seeing a lot of that.
First Law.
Well, our Discord would wants us to do more Robin Hobb. That's the thing that they've been just killing it on different community book clubs. They've been going through all of her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how about A Song of Ice and Fire? Finally, Rich.
No, never. If I can help it, if I don't have to, I won't. I do think one of the only ways that people are going to get me to read A Song of Ice and Fire is through our book club.
Don't you feel
the vote?
Wait.
So to do it.
You haven't read it?
No.
See,
I don't want
to
know
this.
It.
Wait, hold on. Why not? Just because it's not finished?
That's part of it. But also people kept telling me about it. And then I've not seen a Game of Thrones, but I've been spoiled on every single spoiler point because people kept talking about it. And then I never read it. And then people said, oh, season 8 was garbage. And so now I'm just at a point of, I don't care. And then the more people keep pushing me to do it, I'm more spiteful to not
dig your heels in. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm digging my heels in. And then you add on top of all that of, the next, not only is the next book probably not going to get released, but the actual final book will never be released. And so just why?
Genuine question for you, Rich. Would you have rather had Stormlight end before this book 5 came out or not get a book 5?
I would have. Yeah, no, I like Stormlight actually having an ending.
You wanted it to have one still.
I want even if you an ending rather than just leaving in anticipation.
What about a Lightbringer? Because I know you didn't like the end of Lightbringer.
Sure, but I mean, there's a difference between hey, take another year to work on it versus take 13. No. Sometime between 1 and 13, actually stick to something and give us an ending.
I was thinking, is no ending better than a bad ending? That's my question. So, Jake, what do you think on this?
It's tough.
Would you rather have the thought of the thought that it could still be good, or you see on paper it was that bad?
That's so hard, man. Because my initial reaction is that I at least want the author to have that feeling of, hey, I finished this thing. I'll just be happy for them. And I think about like the Game of Thrones stuff and how the show just really stumbled at the end, and like I myself feel like I came up with the better ending that is awesome, if I do say so myself. But no, but it's so I get the whole like if it sucks, like I really don't even want it. I would rather have my own version of it in my head. I totally get that. I think if I had to pick one, I kind of want an ending because the unknown kills me.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the unknown.
I agree with the perfect scenario is I want to walk away from a story eventually. You know, if it has a good ending, then I will consume it, I will be happy, but I'll walk away because it's ended and I can do so. If it's a bad ending, I can go, ah, man, didn't end well, but I'll walk away and move on because it's an ending. No ending is just anger inducing. Of like, why the hell? Like, and then I'm going to just get resentful and just like, forget you. Like, just, I'm going to move away.
Yeah.
It just is more, it has a bitter taste in your mouth of just leaving it without an ending.
Yeah.
Especially if they could do an ending. It's one thing if like they die suddenly and like, okay, it's not really anyone's fault. There's no ending. But if they can,
I mean, I respect that. I respect that.
Journey before
I
destination.
don't.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm just gonna say I don't respect that opinion.
So you're a destination man, Rich.
Journeys are great,
journey.
but a journey without a destination at all is no journey.
I don't know.
That's a wandering.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
But that's exactly what the first law is just a wandering.
There's a journey. You just have to trust that there is an ending. And there is.
But the destination isn't really like, it's about the meandering. It's about the journey, you know? It's kind of just journeying for the journey's sake. And the destination isn't all that important.
No, the destination is reader.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main point, is like the author laughing at you. That's the point.
Yeah, it's a journey with the characters. You know, Lonesome Dove is more just a journey than whether they, I'm just saying all these books you like the journeys of.
No, but the reason what makes them a journey and not a wandering is that they actually have an ending.
But you like your episodic stuff, like your dungeon crawler. If you just had dungeon crawlers come out like 10 books in a row, and then you know, just keeps coming. There's like 25 in the series, episodic type stuff. Sometimes that could be fun, like a just never ending, and then a journey book, you know, just like a simple fun run.
You're confusing the points though. A journey implies that there is an ending of some kind at some point. If there is no ending, never, then it's not a journey.
I'm just saying the journey, sometimes you don't have a destination. I'd like to just walk with you, wandering in the woods, not having no destination.
Now,
sometimes
that's the best argument so far. Not all those who wander.
Yeah. I think I would generally agree with this too. Like, although I do prefer having an ending over not having one, like if the series is incredible, regardless, it's still incredible, right? It's not going to take away from what we do have.
Also, I'm saying I would have rather not had Game of Thrones season 8 come out. I would have rather left it to my imagination than how bad it was. I think when you have it that bad of an ending, it soils the journey, is my point. It was so bad that I can't look at the journey the same because I know where the characters end up. It's such a sour taste in my mouth because I know one of my favorite shows of all time and all of these characters, it's unwatchable to me now because I know they all are ruined. And so I would rather have just nothing than awful. I think obviously the best case scenario is a good or even neutral ending I'm happy with, but I think no ending is better than just destroying the entire journey there. Now that obviously depends on how bad is the ending actually.
That's the thing. Right. You can only want that if, like, in hindsight.
Exactly.
You'll never want that before it comes out.
Yeah.
Well, I could guess and be like, hey, if I know these characters, if this happens in the ending of the book, I don't want to see that. So you couldn't just go, I don't want to see Jaime Lannister do da 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 da.
Well, that's part of a reason why, like, some people think George R. R. Martin's taking so long with his books is because he saw the ending of season 8 and that was
Yeah.
the ending of Game of Thrones, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Uh-oh,
It can't be
I have
because
to fix everything."
there's some character breaking things that I just feel like he's way too talented to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Thank you, Safina. I appreciate it very much. What are we reading? I'm reading Curse of the Mistwraith by Janie Wirtz right now. What are you guys reading right now?
Demon White.
I'm
That's right.
rereading
That's right. Demon in White.
White.
Yeah.
I'm
That's as
loving
far
it
as-
even more the second
Yeah.
time.
That's as far as you've gotten, right? You haven't gone beyond that?
Yeah, that's a big reason why I'm rereading it, so I can go into Kingdoms of Death fresh.
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that review.
Oh, Vera's talked about the
Sure.
Witcher
Oh,
Netflix
no.
show. Isn't it sad though that I don't
agree.
think that show has ever gone past episode 1. Like episode 1, season 1 was peak Witcher.
That's cool.
Oh, I see what
It
you're
was
saying.
so awesome. It got me to watch the rest of the season, and the season was like, eh. Then season 2 was again, eh. But I kept
don't know.
watching in the expectation that like, oh, we're gonna finally get another awesome fight scene like the first episode, and we're gonna get character episodic stuff that like the first episode, and we just never did.
Yeah, The Witcher. I will be honest. I generally enjoyed The Witcher, but like I understand that it's not the books, and I get the problems, but like it's Henry Cavill, so like
He will carry
you
you
know what I
pretty
mean?
He's the
far.
best.
Yeah, I mean
Now,
that was
yeah,
enough for me.
in the nerd circles, I think he's definitely just like the most fawned over man by other men.
Oh, he's our king.
He is our king. He's what we all aspire to be.
Yeah, that's the bucket list to get on a live stream, boys.
That is
Cavill.
true. I would like, and you know, Henry Cavill likes some of the books that we read.
Oh,
We
he has
already
to.
know.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, hey, now that's a reason to start, Austin. That's a reason we should maybe get into Warhammer 40K books.
Why is that?
If we start becoming like the Warhammer YouTube channel,
That's a good idea.
then maybe Henry Cavill starts watching us, and then there we go.
But he does read
We're in there.
Stormlight, and we've had plenty of Stormlight stuff.
Yeah, but that's like Stormlight's bigger. You know what I mean?
Is
I don't
Stormlight bigger than Warhammer?
I think in YouTube stuff.
I don't know
Oh,
about
okay,
that.
yeah, YouTube for sure.
I think there are larger YouTube channels talk about Stormlight than there are a bunch of Warhammer lore explained YouTube stuff, but not very
Yeah.
many at least I haven't seen too many like large book reviews of any numbers.
The only
Or
thing
anything bigger than Stormlight.
Yeah, the only thing I remember Daniel Green talked about a couple, like one of the books or one of the trilogies or something, but that's literally the only thing I've ever seen.
Mm.
Here's a good question for you guys. How did you get Lord Grimdark on your channel?
So the amazing Jed Hearn, he was we're good pals at this point. So he came onto our channel at one point. I've been watching his channel for a long time. Just reached out to him because he had Joe Abercrombie on his channel, and we were like, hey, he kind of just told us if we ever wanted to get in touch with Abercrombie that he was such a great guest and that he could connect us. So when that time came, when we finished First Law, just reached out. And so he was super kind to connect us with Abercrombie.
That's amazing. Now Jed's going to get 10 million emails from every person who watches this.
Oh, shoot.
Trying to get connected.
We're sorry, Jed.
And I'm the first one. No.
Awesome guy. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And now definitely Jed also has his is more of writing advice channel.
Yeah, his channel's cool.
And philosophy stuff.
Okay, you know Jed.
Yeah. I listened to almost all of their Wizards, Warriors, and Words podcasts.
Yeah.
Him and Rob J. Hayes and Dirk and Fletcher, like all those guys.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen a ton of his YouTube videos because I know a lot of them were kind of, redirected similar content.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does really good stuff.
Absolutely does. What do you have goals for this year for your channel or anything in general? Or you just kind of go with the flow, or do you have a specific, I want this to be accomplished? It can't be 2,000 subscribers because you're there.
Because we did it.
Yeah. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Your check's in the mail.
Thank you.
No, I don't know. I'm kind of a vibes person. Like I think my biggest goal for the channel is to as funny and like fake wholesome as this sounds, like just make more friends. Like I've been doing this. August 17th was when I started the channel,
August
and
17th.
so it's been what 4.5 months or something. And it's like I've made people that are like genuine friends that we just text all the time and stuff, which is amazing. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing of this. Like the community is the thing here, right? And just like just to be transparent, like the positive impact it has had on me as a person and my mental health and my day-to-day everything is just one of the best things ever in my life, straight up, right? So I'm like, that's what I want, right? I want more homies. I want to just have fun talking to people. I want to try to talk to more authors. That's definitely a thing. Just try to do more of that. I mean, I'm like you, trying to write something as well, right? So getting some more advice and all that is always good. But that's really the thing, right? And I think sort of indirectly that means continuing to improve the quality of the content and be consistent and all those things, because I think the reality of social media is the more reach you have, the more people you get to talk to, the more therefore relationships you can build and all that kind of stuff. So indirectly trying to grow the channel, but it's all because of just the you know conversations, relationships. That's where it's at for me, at least.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
Soapbox.
do you have any personal goals outside of book stuff?
For the channel, or you mean just like completely unrelated?
Yeah, life goals. I know you
Oh,
got your
man.
fitness stuff going on. I don't know if you have anything like, oh, you want to get that done this year.
I have so I'm weird, right? I like I have like a list of like every compartment of my life, and it's broken down into like I really want to move forward in this thing. Here's my step by step of how I might be able to do that, and then how do I put a system in place to then give myself the best chance of being successful. I literally had a video, I think it came out today actually, where I talked about like my background in the fitness industry has taught me this as well, right? Although I Samwise, thank you very much, sir. This is a chat and a noble tyrant. I like that a lot. It's great.
What
I
a
try
trait,
to be.
Samwise.
Yeah, but I think people in general are amazing at setting goals, but they're really bad at following through and accomplishing those things. And it's not their fault. It's just they don't have a system in place, right? So anyway, long ramble. But to me, it's like my last year was so crazy hectic between work and grad school and my bodybuilding prep and starting booktube and like all this stuff. And so rather unfortunately, that meant a lot of social things went on the back burner. And so that's a huge priority for me this year, is to get a little bit more balance that way. Particularly with my girlfriend, who is amazing and is super patient and let me do all these things, but like she would love to hang out more, right? Which, understandably so. So that's a big thing, is I want to make sure that our relationship can continue to get better and keep growing. And I mean, we've been together for like 4 years. So like, I want that to be like, she is my person, right? Like, so I just want that relationship to keep getting better. I want to, I might finish my PhD this year, potentially.
Nice.
So we'll
Awesome.
see. I might graduate in December. I might delay it a little bit. It just kind of depends on how things look in terms of like the next step. And, I still need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, guys. So I said this in my last live stream. So like subscribe, give me the ad revenue so I can just do this full time instead of use my degree for anything.
Nice.
Degrees
joking,
are
obviously,
worthless.
but degrees are very
true.
worthless. Hence why I went to school for 10 years and did the whole thing. But
I mean, it's fun. It's great spending a lot of money
yeah,
to also, read some books. Like you pay them and then you read books.
yeah,
That's pretty great.
Jake
Great.
was really counting on that student loan forgiveness thing.
I
He's like,
was,
oh,
man.
definitely
Yeah.
coming. Let me just keep going to school till I bang that out.
Exactly.
What's up,
Thank
love and
you.
lore?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, so like that could be cool if I get that done, or if I wind up pushing it back, that's also fine. It's just figuring out exactly what I want to do with my life, and then seeing, because the natural progression, right, is you get a PhD and then you become an academic full time. So you're doing research, you're writing grant proposals, you're teaching classes, blah blah blah. And I just don't want to do that. Like I've learned so much from being in this world that there's a lot of politics and a lot of stuff that you don't realize goes into that job that I just don't want to deal with. If I could just do cool research, then like, sweet. But it's not that simple. So I think for me, I very much want the flexibility of working for myself and, doing, I already work doing the like online PT stuff. Yeah, exactly. Next Jeff Nipper. There you go. But yeah, so it's just
really good at what he does.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the main couple of the main highlights, I think, is relationship stuff, and then the just try to figure out my life as I have to be forced to finally be an adult and enter the real world.
Yes. That's the thing too. Like a PhD today is, I mean, Rich and I went to college, but college degree today is like a high school degree 20, 30 years ago.
Wild,
PhD
man.
is now kind of what you need to be the equivalent of
A master's.
a master's or so. It's gone up one echelon each generation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Though
it's
it
crazy.
is important to like at least acknowledge, like I wouldn't have my current job if I didn't have my degree.
Mhm.
Like it's one of those things of college is increasingly less valuable, but it's also not worth nothing.
Right.
It's I guess the right thing is college is necessary but not sufficient. Like you need more than that. And it will often like in a bunch of big companies, there's a bunch of different avenues. It's just like a check. It's one of the check boxes of
Unfortunately.
for you to get the same job, you'll often have to have like 5, 6, 7 years of actual work experience
Mhm.
versus just having your 4-year degree.
Right.
And so, yeah,
Tough, man.
it's rough. But then again, my degree also has almost nothing to do with my actual job. So I literally just
interesting.
needed a paper that says bachelor's degree.
Yeah, which is
And that
so
was enough.
annoying. But at the same time, like I think there's a lot of other skills that you learn by going to college. Like there's a lot of time management, responsibility, blah blah blah.
Writing is the
It's
biggest one. Like, can you write?
yeah.
If your college, if your college can actually properly teach you how to read a book and write a report on a book,
Mhm.
which I think they should just teach you in high school, but I met plenty of people that did not have that ability.
Yeah.
Before they entered college.
Yeah, dude, like I teach a class as part of my stuff, and like some of the emails that I get from not even freshmen, like juniors, and I'm like, you can't like there's no punctuation, there's no capital anything. It's always just like, hey, and then blah like whatever, using all kinds of weird slang or like what, and I'm like, that's okay, but if you're trying to write an email to your professor in this case, maybe be kind of professional, right? Like it's but like people just don't, I don't know. If they're not taught it, then they're not taught it. But some of it I think also is like an effort thing, which is a little bit frustrating. But so my PhD is in exercise science. That I'm quite literally doing bodybuilding research, as lame as that sounds. But basically how jacked can we possibly be? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And that's basically it. So we don't get any funding because the government doesn't care about that. So I get limited on what I can do, but that's okay.
I will say, if you want my like, this is my funniest, but also like I'm not completely joking, but also most controversial political take is I do think we should have state enforced in some capacity physical fitness. Like I do think like we should have like taxes should be double if you're significantly like
taxes, is that what
physically
you're saying?
unfit, your taxes are doubled. If you're like military fighting fit, like you could easily pass and you're incredibly physically fit person, half taxes. Like you just get half off your taxes.
Rich, I would love if this applies
I
to
would
like you just screw over the elderly, babies, just everybody else. It's like double taxes until you're fit for
Yeah.
us, okay?
Yeah.
Because these poor
Well,
kids.
we could be nice and have a cutoff, but you know, hey, at 18, you better have been. Your parents will strongly encourage you to get fit because at 18, your taxes are going to start either at double or half or like neutral. Like you're in a middle grade, you know, like you're not unhealthy, but you're certainly not healthy.
Tiered
Until you get
system,
regular.
right?
Yeah, exactly. A tiered system, but health based.
What about state enforced fantasy reading?
That sounds great.
That sounds great for me. That would be personally beneficial, but
It's like people are going to rebel against anything that's enforced, right? So it kind of gets, it's such a double-edged sword. But on the surface, at least, it sounds nice.
Someone says, he's waddling over the finish line. Like,
it's such a mess too, right? Because if that were to happen, you'd have to have like the standards would have to be different for every different age group or population or whatever.
Oh yeah, there
Rich
are rules,
Rich
and
has
then there are
thought
exceptions.
ideas. Like he thinks the initial thing, and then all the consequences. Like don't think it's just the thing. His brain's a one-track machine. You know,
exceptions don't always get to break the rule. You know, like
there's 5
toddlers
million
maybe don't
exceptions
have
for
to
this
pay
case,
double
right? So
taxes. People with disabilities get an exemption. Like, duh. Like, should we expect the person in a wheelchair to be able to run at least a 10-minute mile? No, we shouldn't because they're in a wheelchair. Duh. But other than that, relatively healthy, you should try. I don't know.
What would your PT test be? I mean, Jake, what would your PT test be for his really his dystopian world he's creating?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, my dystopian world where everyone is actually a little bit healthier.
No, the dystopian world where I'm just imagining people on crutches.
Everyone, like our obesity record, like obesity rates is out off the charts, and I'm the bad guy for wanting people to, go to the gym and stop pounding cookies.
Okay, so
as I look into the mirror, I'm looking into the mirror as I say that.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, our teleprompter has a mirror. I'm looking at myself saying that.
Yeah. So my real answer as technically a exercise scientist is very boring and not fun. So what I will say instead is, let's say every 3 years, you need to at least compete in something, right? Whether it's a marathon or a speed walking thing or powerlifting or whatever, right? Whatever it is. Maybe we'll do that. Because I think competition and the structure that imposes is also beneficial for people to learn some nice life lessons, whatnot. Discipline, right? Everyone needs to be a little bit more restrictive with their life in every way. Anyway. But yeah, my real answer is very boring because it's like you can't like force people to do it because they're just not going to do it. We already sort of try to do that, and it's just not.
Well, that's the best part about taxes. Is you're not forcing anyone.
That's true.
It's just incentives.
True. They could just pay more.
Yeah. That's how taxes work. It's great. It's force, but through it's monetary force.
Monetary force. Okay. Well, Chris already found the loophole. So,
can you compete in an eating contest?
Yeah.
I could probably do pretty well if it was steaks.
That sounds fun.
You guys ever see Matt Stoney do his videos on YouTube? Matt Stoney's that professional competitive eater, and he has some awesome YouTube videos where I just can't fathom how he's able to down these massive plates of food. You actually have to train your stomach to do it, and he's a skinny dude as well, but I can't even comprehend. And I love to eat. I still can't comprehend how these competitive eaters do it.
Yeah, me either. I don't get it.
Like the 60 hot dogs, and what's the Joey Chestnut record at this point? 60, 70. He's just, I think he's more of the GOAT of his sport than like Michael Jordan is for basketball or LeBron is for basketball. Like he has more titles in the competitive hot dog eating. Like Michael Phelps wish he had more golds compared to Chestnut. It's fascinating.
That is fascinating. Well, here's another good point, right? Nothing's illegal.
I mean, it's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah.
This is the $500 parking spot.
It's a fair point.
That is true. If fines are just, if it doesn't require jail time.
Yeah.
It's just a very expensive parking ticket.
Or towing. Towing sucks because then it's your time and you have to go get it and all that.
That's a huge hit.
I have heard stories of like really, really rich people will drive into like New York City or London with their supercar and they'll just park because they're like, what are you gonna do? Give me a $300
Uh-huh.
ticket for parking in a no parking zone?
Yeah.
Okay. They don't care.
Do you guys see the Cybertrunks around you at all?
A lot
Yeah,
of them. Ton of
everywhere.
them, actually.
One of them? I
Everywhere,
see them
bro.
all over the place. That's how I imagine they are. Is they want to make their own rules and they'll just do whatever they want. Anarchists.
I know so many people dislike them, but I like them just because they're different.
That's fair.
I'm so sick of the sea of cars that all just look the same. They're all
Yeah.
basically the same colors, same shapes. At least the Cybertruck looks different.
That's why you
something.
like modern art. It's different.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I just need to pick apart. I'm just on that mode today.
Different can also be good.
But Jake, would you? So I see Coop complaining in the chat here that we're talking about everything except books, and I kind of want to lean more into that.
Yes.
Yeah, out of spite.
Saying that, can I just ask
screw
a
you
big
guys for
question?
wanting us to talk about books.
Exactly. This
BookTube
is something
channel.
that excites me, other than my book love, and we kind of mentioned it a little bit. How into films and movies are you? Are you like a big film buff or more casual?
I'm very much a casual, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. I would love to get more into it. I think it's super like whenever I hear somebody talk about it who's super into it, I'm like, that's amazing. That's so like I have a friend, he works in the lab with me actually, that he goes and sees almost every new movie that comes out and he can talk about it with like he can like analyze the and I'm just like, it was a good movie, you know? So I think it's super, super cool, but I assume that means that you are a big movie guy.
Oh, I love. I mean, not as much as for I know more about books, but I love films. Jacob went to film school, so
Yeah.
can geek out over that. I guess it's been more of a recent thing with the past 2 years. I've been actually watching the Oscars. I was always that guy who was like, "Oh, it's so pretentious." Oscars,
And it
oh,
is. Don't
it's just hot.
don't backtrack that. It is pretentious.
No, I'm getting
You're
there.
just a part of the you're just a
Yeah,
part of the club now.
I'm getting there. I was always like, "Oh, it's so pretentious," and it's like Hollywood patting themselves on the back.
Mhm.
And then I started watching the films and going like, "Why do I like it when they're pretentious? Why do I like that?" And then slowly just go like, "Oh my god, look at the shot! Oh my god, look at the way that camera angle is just."
I do
Oh.
remember I had to pause a movie on one of our movie nights when you just in the middle of the movie where it's like, oh, just take a look at that shot composition. And I had to like pause the movie and look at you like
It was stunning.
Who the
Well,
fuck are you?
it was also
Shut
Gone
up.
with the Wind. So,
Yeah.
to be fair, it was Gone with the Wind, and it just the sky was beautiful. And I was like, wow.
Like how'd they get that sunset? It's like they went outside, they filmed it.
Hey, Jacob, you and me,
Wait.
that's a backup in case John
Go.
leaves you and Rich leaves me. We'll go do a film.
That's a
We'll
good
call
idea.
it Talking Ramble will be the name. It'll be
Talking
on films.
I like it.
To the talk.
Yeah. Did you see Nosferatu yet?
Seeing it this
I've been
Saturday.
wanting to.
Okay, because I hear that that's
Oh,
very
that's
much
right.
like a film buff kind of movie.
I can't wait. I mean, Roger Eggers, is it? He did The Northman. I didn't like The Northman. Rich did.
Yeah.
It was misadvertised for me, and I was so disappointed with it. But I like his style. Like the best part about it was his filmmaking super cool. So I'm excited to watch this next one. He's a great filmmaker.
That's awesome. I don't think I've heard the name, but I don't think I've seen something before from him. But I love anything like super gothy. I'm very down. So like I gotta go see it for sure. Vampires are always fun.
Oh, Samwise.
I-
There you are, Sam. What's he saying here?
Thanks, Samwise.
Crime and Punishment read along. When are you
Oh.
reading it? When are you reading it, and how long is it? That's
I
my
mean,
question.
aren't we reading it eventually this year?
We're doing some classics this year. Our first one's Pride and Prejudice with the group, and then after that, I don't know what the next one is. Maybe it's Crime and Punishment.
I keep pushing off Cormac McCarthy books that I still want to read Blood Meridian this year, which I think you can call it a modern classic,
Okay,
kinda, sort of.
Sure.
John, I'm looking at, or sorry, Jacob, I'm looking that up right now. You said Nosferatu 1922. Holy crap, I've never even heard of this
Yeah.
film.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, no, I saw that one. It's very visually impressive especially for the time.
from
Yeah.
1920s. That's
Yeah.
gotta be nuts. Oh, that's historic to look at something like that.
And the vampire
Remind-
is surprisingly terrifying for like the time
Really?
period. Yeah.
Oh, it's freaky.
Yeah.
It is freaky. But there's a couple old movies that definitely need to show you. Like, Austin, have you ever actually seen the movie Gaslight?
No, I want to.
It's a great movie.
Really?
It's not a real
yeah.
movie, right? That's
It's a real movie.
it can't be a real movie. Continue.
Good
Sorry.
one.
Oh, gaslighting you. Oh.
No, that's what the term is from. The term
Oh, is
comes
it really?
from this movie. Quite literally, the main it's one of the characters gaslights the main character. That's where you get the term. And it's great. It's a fantastic movie.
That is awesome.
That's
So-
super cool.
Jacob,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
we gotta do something with this because I love that you're into films like this. It's
You guys should
original
definitely do
German.
it.
Wow.
I would watch. I think a lot of people would watch that.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
hey, Jacob, why don't you just set up a movie YouTube channel? And like that's one of your thing, and then you have so many connections, get to start it off the ground. Then Aussie can be your co-host.
I'll jump on there. I'll be your thumbnail guy. Swap places.
We'll switch the roles here.
But Jake, I sorry to bring that up and like completely steer it toward
No.
what I like. I'm just genuine. Like, what's something that you geek out over? That's I'm trying to pick your brain because if we're gonna create this bond and friendship, I need to like something a deeper level of
Okay.
inside mind of Jake.
So I'm into a lot of different stuff. I'm a huge anime guy. I always tell people I'm probably the biggest anime nerd you've ever met. And then I randomly love like NBA basketball. Huge fan. What else
Not
do
the
I not?
WNBA, you sexist pig.
I know. I'm part of the problem.
Jake, you're a great straight man in comedy. Like just
Yeah. You know what? And this is such a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But I have seen some WNBA stuff recently that I'm genuinely like, this is amazing. And it definitely deserves more attention than it gets. But like historically speaking, it's hard to compare to the NBA. I'm just gonna be honest.
It's what Caitlin Clark started this whole.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's
It's
really good.
crazy.
Oh, she's the reason why the WNBA is actually getting some numbers now.
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, it just seems so catty against her. Yeah, I just keep. I see more and more things of going like, it's not all Caitlin Clark, and it's like, yeah, it is.
You know what's hilarious, Rich? It's like I keep trying to get something about Jake, then I pull to movies. You're like, how about the WNBA?
Yeah, great.
Does that mean you're a big WNBA fan?
I am not a sports guy, but I think I
Fair.
want to get into the WNBA just because I think it'd be hilarious
Niche
to
topic,
know
yeah.
nothing about any other sport other than the WNBA. It would either make me
support it.
just it would throw red flags. I think it would make me a walking red flag.
Yeah, I mean, sensitive, right? Like you know, looking at not just going for you're not like an NFL guy, right? Like
Oh,
Yeah, well, here's the
is
thing.
Rich
What
an
would be
NFL
a
guy? What
bigger red
question.
flag is me knowing every single like women's volleyball team
that would
and
be a
not
little
being
odd.
able to name a single NFL player. That's where it's like, okay.
Are you
Oh,
are you-
like this guy's creepy. Like,
so
ah.
so another thing, I'm a huge stand-up comedy guy, right? Do you like stand-up?
Of course.
Oh, love stand up. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the Shane Gillis bit about volleyball players? Okay. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that.
Well, Shane Gillis is just
Actually,
hilarious
I remember that
overall.
bit.
I love Shane. I got to see him live last year, and it was incredible. It was so good. It was before his last special came out, so like I got to see all that material before it came out on Netflix.
Mm.
It was awesome.
That is so cool. Rich and I saw Andrew Schultz live when he was
Amazing.
in the DC area.
I'd love to see him.
I forget which tour that was, but he was really funny too.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got to see some of that material.
Yeah.
About a year before that, I got to see Bill Burr in person.
Oh man, that's great.
Fun.
Who else
But-
have you guys seen? Do you go to shows often? Have you seen other people live?
Not
Which
often,
one?
but we've watched all the Netflix special type
Sure.
things.
Who's the puppet guy? We saw him too.
Oh yeah, that's when we were like very newly friends,
Yes.
and I nearly killed you.
You almost killed me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we were driving to the you know the show with
CPS.
the like terrorist puppet? That's his
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
He has the
Yep.
puppet.
What is
One
his
of them's the
Jeff?
terrorist.
Jeff.
Dunham.
Dunham. Jeff
Dunham.
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 Yes.
We were driving and I took a wrong turn, apparently onto the tracks of one of the local like rail cars was going, and so the train is coming toward us. I turned into the car. I look behind me. I can't back up. I'm already boxed in. But I see, like, forward and to the left, there's a space. There's a gap in the cars.
Okay.
So I hit the gas, charging toward the oncoming train,
Ooh.
and then I weave out of the way and pull a U-turn to get out of the way.
Wow. That's
So
what a memory, though.
yeah,
What a memory.
Austin I'm surprised he got back in the car after that, but
I we were in Baltimore. I had no way home.
You don't want to walk home by yourself at night in Baltimore?
No, we were like an hour car drive away. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, maybe not.
thankfully it was a slow moving like tram train.
Yeah,
One of those cable cars.
Yes.
The where I live in like South Florida. So like tons of stand up comes through here. So my girlfriend and I go to shows all the time. And like some of them are big names and some of them are like we're gonna go see Nikki Glaser soon, which I'm so stoked for. She's
Nice.
amazing.
She just
who
did the
else?
Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, she is the queen of the world right now, dude. It's crazy. Ever since the Tom Brady roast, she's
That
like,
was what it was. Yeah.
yeah. So she was. I mean, but we got we're seeing her soon. We got to see Mateo Lane recently, which he was awesome. Chris Stefano was amazing. Have you guys seen Kill Tony, the like podcast YouTube thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know Cam Patterson?
No.
He's on there most weeks. He's on there.
Let me look up Cam. I just see the clips of it.
He's the Rocks guy.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we got to see him the day after Christmas. We went and saw him.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm not joking, the best show I've ever been to.
Oh,
He was so
cool.
funny. He was so funny.
That's awesome.
And we got to meet him after the show, and like when he's picking on people in the crowd, right, just doing whatever. So of course he picks on me and my girlfriend. So he's like doing stuff, and we're talking back and forth. And so after the show, we met him, and he gave me a T-shirt, and like he was the nicest dude ever. But
how did he pick on you guys? What did he say?
He has this bit where he's like, and there's clips on YouTube of it, but he's got this bit where he's like telling you a story of, I asked this guy, what he does for a living, and I don't want to ruin the bit, but like all right. So, okay. So he's like, I asked this guy, what do you do for a living? And he says, censor myself, like, I sleep with your mother every Tuesday and Thursday, right? Which is oddly specific, but so he yells it at this dude. And then he stops and he's like, well, let's act it out. And I'll show you what I said to him, or what I should have said to him. So then he picks somebody in the crowd to be the guy who yells at him about his mom, right? So of course he picks me. And he's like, all right, bro, like I need you to like stand up, say it with your chest, like, So I do it. And then he's like, okay, that was good. It was professional. But like one thing I forgot to say, he had an Asian accent. So let's do it again. Let's start over. And so I was like, all right, this entire theater is looking at me, right? So I'm like, bet, all right, I got this. Here we go. So I did it. Everybody's laughing. It was a great time, whatever. And he's like, oh, you're a racist, bro. So he was just trying to turn it on me, which is hilarious. But yeah, it was great. But he came over, like dapped me up after that, and then gave me a shirt after the show and stuff. It was fun.
Dang, that's funny.
That reminds me of the Bo Burnham, skit cool. Where he's going like, we have white people have culture too. It's we have our things that we like, people like vanilla, then written, raised to the crowd like ice cream. We like our chips at like sea salt and vi, and then points to the crowd and they finish the sentence He just turns up all the lights. Like,
Oh, did people actually
who
respond?
said it? Who said it?
I think I've seen that before. Yeah, that's funny. Bo Burnham is underrated. Did you see
that dude's
the thing he
hilarious.
dropped during COVID? Was it Inside, I think?
Oh, it's
Brilliant.
That was
It's
awesome.
so good.
Awesome.
It was
Yes.
like I'm sure it'll be on social media at some point. So I'll be outed as a racist apparently.
Yeah.
That's so devious. Like oh my
Yeah.
god.
I love it.
So there's this really great we're rambling comedians now, but the more crowd, I'm seeing a lot of the crowd work type of stuff, and sometimes that can get old. But when you have a bit that involves the crowd, like there's this one comedian, I don't even know his name. I saw one clip from him, but it was so smart. He had a timer that he gave to somebody, and he said, "I want you to start at 60 seconds."
Yeah.
You saw that joke?
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
It was cool and interactive. So you know what I'm
Crazy.
talking about.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he points and his whole bit and joke is surrounded with the audience member stopping the timer. So I like that kind of crowd work a lot. Because I
Crowd
think
work's
like
cool.
Andrew Schultz mastered the crowd work early on. Like he was doing it the best. And so now so many comedians are doing it. And obviously I'm really into comedians, but the whole crowd work type thing works as well because you can use it and clip it and post it on your socials, and it's always new, and they don't have to give their actual material.
Yes,
which I'm sure you guys
100%.
know this, but I didn't think of that. But then when I was listening to podcasts and whatnot, they were saying that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So I'm a lot less. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You don't want to give away your whole specials on social media clips.
It's
but
brilliant, and that's how Matt Rife blew up and got so famous.
Yes.
Like so quick, right? It was all this crowd work on TikTok and everything.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people like that. That, I mean, all the shorts and the TikTok stuff, like, but it does seem the crowd work seems to be really popular on short form stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just because it's kind of like antagonizing a little bit. It's because people like the drama, and it also it's just impressive to me also, right? Like that someone can think on their feet that quickly. And I get they probably have some stuff loaded that they're ready to, like, they're searching out who can I use this on or whatever. But it's amazing. Comedy is such a cool thing. Like when you start to think about the craft and like the art behind it, it's really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's something on my bucket list. I want to do a 5-minute stand up at some point.
That's awesome.
Just to get the pressure, and that I'd be nervous doing that because I'm trying purposely to be there to be funny. Like it works with our pod, like just jokes back and forth because it's like with your buddy. It's just your job is be funny on stage. That's a lot more pressure than the stuff we do. I mean, talking into a camera as well. So I'd like to get that level of putting yourself out there.
I do like to think about that sometimes, of how many people in like posting videos and doing different video work and how impressive a lot of their stuff is, and just how bottom barrel effort and like podcasting is, of just,
you
know what I mean? Of like, no, like some creativity, I guess, kind of, but compare that to the people who are doing like sketch comedy, people that are doing like in-depth research videos. Like, we're just two guys chatting, and yet that does really well. It's amazing that podcasts actually do as well as they do in our current cultural landscape.
It can be huge. Actually, Austin, that we were talking about the stand-up, that made me think of when you're writing, right? Like, do you ever try to put humor in there, like where you're intentionally trying to be funny? Do you find that that's really difficult? Sort of like what you're saying about if you get up on stage and you're just like, right?
That's a great question, because my book is YA version of Discworld meets Guardians of the Galaxy. So main character is more the has a quirky humor to him, but it's more the absurdity of the situations I hope is funny, or I just hope that some of the lines are funny. So I try to be, but I try to be funny to the character, not just like, oh, let me insert a joke, but what would the character actually say that would be funny? And hopefully the things that would make it funny is, oh, that is so that character. Of course they would say that to that character.
Yeah.
So that's more so what it is. So I guess it's not like a stand-up comedy type thing. It's almost like with Rich and I, something that I say to Rich or Rich says to me it would only be funny if it's both like genuine, also matches the personality of, oh, of course we'd make that joke. Like if you kind of make a thing out of nowhere like that, you know what I'm saying? You don't break the humor just to make the joke. So I'm trying my best to give the humor. The Dungeon Crawler Carl, great example of the humor is if you like it, you like it. But Princess Donut does Princess Donut things in Dungeon Crawler Carl, and it's funny because of her character. And like you throw that Princess Donut line into another book, and it's like, oh, that's out of nowhere. So if that answers the question at all, it's definitely tough because I'm like, does it land? But I justify it more by going, well, they'd say that anyways. So
yeah. No, I love that. I guess sort of related question to this. How far along are you? Like, how's it? I'm so curious about this, right? Because as I've been doing this YouTube thing, I'm meeting more and more people, and it's like, it seems like almost everybody on here is trying to write their own thing, which is awesome. And like, I'm so all for like people just going for it, right? Just try it. What's the worst that can happen?
right.
But it's just cool to see like how far along people are, how much time they devote to it, or what they've where they've gotten information. How are they doing the thing, right? So there's my question for you. How are you doing the thing?
I'm on my board right there. I'm on chapter 12 right now. I was writing just before getting in here. For like I had a 2-hour session, which was nice. I was feeling good about it.
Yeah.
And I have this year, what I'm doing is I will be done by June 20th with my first draft, because every week I'm essentially doing 5,000 words. And if I don't meet that, the consequences are bad for me. So like I have an incentive for Nicole will give me like a shot or an IV, not with anything in it, but just I'm afraid of needling. So as an incentive
That's
to
hilarious.
get me
I love
finishing it, more so just because I'm the type that gets very overthinking and compulsive about re-editing and like making it perfect. So to get me moving forward, I need something else to push me to get me there. So I'm on chapter 12 and going. What helped me too is I went from being a pantser in like 4 years ago when I started this thing to being a more specific plotter. And that helped me personally a ton. I know for some people it doesn't, but that's what got me to get beyond that chapter 1 rewrite, was knowing where I'm going with keeping a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That was interesting. I like when you were talking. I can't remember if that was. I listened to both back to back, the Abercrombie and Fonda Lee interviews back to back. So I can't remember which one of those you were talking about. The just that cycle of constantly rewriting the same thing.
Fonda Lee one.
Yeah.
Talking about that, yeah. But what anything for you or for you for writing, or are you doing any type of ventures like that?
I'm trying. It's the hardest thing is finding the time. I have like 10,000 words down. So there's a start, right? I feel like I can officially call that a start.
That is.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of ideas and it's very fun. It's just actually finding the time is the tricky, because I know some people who, they're like, if I have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like just something. And I'm like, I can't do that, man. Like I need some time, some lead in time to get into a groove, and like, I don't know. So I'm kind of like, I need at least an hour, 2 hours, something like that to actually get anything productive done. Otherwise I just sit there and stare at it. Even like I am very much like thorough outline, very much so. But even with that, I'm like, I need a little time to kind of get into it.
If you ever want to talk writing book stuff at all, like of course, reach out to Rich and I for anything at all, because we will.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We have literally a meeting in 1 minute to go to. For
oh, nice. I was just thinking I should have been like, is there a time you guys got to stop?
In 1 minute we do, but I did want to like, this was awesome. I could speak for Rich. This was also awesome. I really liked it. So I thought, and it was really awesome. But if you want to do this again, but sorry we have to cut you off at the 2-hour mark. But
no, you're good. Thank you guys so much. Yeah,
I know we lost track of time. This was so fun for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it a ton. Thank you everyone in the chat for showing up. If you guys got to bounce before I officially end this, that's totally fine. But for real, I'm a huge fan of you guys as people and as your channel. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for talking to me. It was very cool.
I seriously lost the time. Like that was, we could have talked forever. That was very much quick. That did not feel like 2 hours at all. So
yeah.
Awesome. Sweet.
All right.
Bye everybody.
Okay. Bye all.
See you guys. All right. And to everyone in the chat, thank you again for watching. If you're watching this on replay, we'll thank you for watching. Drop a comment. We'll talk to you there.
Awesome.